Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Mile High Living. I'm Gina Bellich. Well, if you struggle with burning pain or tingling in your feet, Front Range Medical Center's chiropractor can help. Dr. Dean Anderson joins us now to share how he can free you from peripheral neuropathy. Dr. Dean, welcome.
Yeah,
good to have you back.
Good to see you.
Let's talk about this for everyone who might not know what this is. Explain exactly what is peripheral neuropathy.
Well, we'll make it simple. Neuropathy means nerve damage, and when we're talking about peripheral neuropathy, we're talking about nerve damage in the feet, toes, lower legs, hands, fingers, or upper extremities.
So what causes it, to be specific?
Yeah, there's a long list of causes, and that's one of the real keys in understanding neuropathy is knowing why it's happening. And so a lot of people associate it with like blood sugar issues, diabetes, pre-diabetes, but there's side effects of certain medications can cause it, certain chemotherapies, chronic use of statin acid, or chronic use of statin medications. Chronic use of antacids can cause it. And then we see a lot of cases that are autoimmune. Patients who have autoimmune problems, neuropathy will be secondary to that. So there's really a long list of causes, and that's part of the process in understanding why.
So if people at home are hearing this, what are they dealing with if you suffer from this?
Yeah, well, a lot of people we see, Gina, they've been dealing with it a long time. So there's a lot of frustration because with neuropathy, there's usually pain, like sharp, burning, shooting electrical nerve pain. It can be worse at night. So it'll affect patients' sleep. It's hard to get to sleep, hard to stay asleep. Because it affects feet most of the time, it'll affect mobility. So patients can't go on walks, enjoy activities they want with their family. There's another kind of subgroup of patients that may not have pain, but a lot of numbness. And with that numbness comes a lot of balance issues. A lot of patients are fall risks or don't feel comfortable driving because they can't feel things. So a lot of frustration, a lot of hopelessness because patients oftentimes have been told nothing can be done for them.
So is this something that could lead to some long-term complications?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of times, like people that have diabetes, if it really progresses and they start to have issues with their legs, they can have ulcers that lead into things like amputations. But more times than not, we don't see cases that are that progressed. We'll see more complications with balance issues, with mobility problems, so people that are fall risks.
Talk about your approach to this, because you're very successful at what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say that the normal approach to neuropathy traditionally is patients are usually put on medications to manage pain, which can be helpful, but it does nothing for the nerve damage or the underlying issue that causes it. So how we treat neuropathy and what's different is what we do is really comprehensive. Number one, we have a very advanced treatment in our office that's electrical based, and it's one of the more advanced forms of electromedicine designed to work with nerve damage. So this electrical treatment allows us to treat the issue of neuropathy, the actual nerve damage itself. And then we spend a lot of time with patients in the beginning in understanding why they have it, and we address those issues, whether it's those blood sugar issues we were talking about or those autoimmune issues, because we want to make sure when treatment gets them better and they don't have pain, they get better nerve function, we want to make sure it doesn't come back. So really it's this comprehensive approach.
Well, so many of your patients find relief with you where they haven't found it with other people. Why do you think you are so successful, or your patients have found such success with you?
Yeah, I think that the two most common reasons are, number one, this advancement in treatment allows us to address the nerve damage. And then number two, Gina, we're addressing the underlying issues along with it that cause it. And it's that comprehensive approach that allows for long-term success.
Well, if any of this sounds familiar to anyone at home or someone you might love, there's a number right there on your screen, and all you have to do is call that number. So it's 303-586-7897. All you have to do is you call, and you can get a consultation to see if maybe this is something you need relief for or how you guys can help, right?
Absolutely.
Now, you've had many successful patients that have come through. Let's go ahead and hear from them.
When I first started coming to Dr. Anderson, I had no feeling in my feet. It was very, very difficult for me to drive a car because I couldn't feel the brake pedal anymore. What has happened since is absolutely fantastic. I no longer fear losing my balance as I walk. I have feeling in my feet and lower legs again, and driving a car makes me much safer on the roads than I used to be.
Something as simple as just driving a car. I mean, when you're so used to being able to do these basic things and all of a sudden not being able to do that, are those typical results to find that kind of relief?
Yeah, especially for that subgroup of patients. I was talking about some of these patients only have numbness, right? Mm-hmm. It's not pain. And so with that, there's loss of feeling. So the driving or the balance issues. Yeah. And so, commonly we see patients just more comfortable being able to feel things. So they can drive, they have better balance. So that's a common common thing that we see as we address the real issues.
Well, the way that you go about treating this, you really have such a unique thing, and you're very passionate about what you do. Can you
Yeah.
touch on that before we go?
Yeah, absolutely, Jean. You know, I've been doing this, and I say this, treating neuropathy. It's the only thing we treat. I've been doing this for the past 15 years. 100% of my patients walking in and out of our office are dealing with neuropathy. I've personally treated over 1,200 cases, so we've got a ton of experience. We got a small office staff. We really treat patients like family, because going through this process can be a lot. Patients deal with a lot,
Yeah.
just physically, emotionally, and having to deal with the pain.
Dr. Dean, we love having you here. Give him
being
a
here.
call if you can, folks. But right now, receive a $27 consultation. That's normally $245. Call 303-587-7897. The consultation includes a review of your health history, a neuropathy-specific evaluation, and a review of past records to determine if you're a good candidate for treatment. Visit denverneuropathy.com. Dr. Dean Anderson paid for today's segment, and we'll be right back.